Welcome, everyone. You can see on in front of my screen here, I'm talking about something breaking news, which has happened a few hours ago. That the House of the Representative has passed a second immigration bill, which is aiming at the farm workers and their families. But overall, the House of Representatives has passed two important bills which are referring to immigration. And these two important bills, I'm going to explain to them. I'm going to explain these bills to you and what are the next steps after these bills have been able to be passed. As you can see, the House passes immigration bills, two important bills with pathways to citizenship for the dreamers and the farm workers. If we include both of the dreamers and the farm workers, is going to benefit up to 4.4 million individuals. Welcome, everyone. In case today is your first time to come to the EBM Scholars show, please consider subscribing to my YouTube channel right now. But if you are listening to me to my podcast, which is EBM Podcast, thank you so much for your continued support. Continue supporting my YouTube channel and also my podcast, which is EBM Scholars Podcast. I know at this time which I'm making the breaking news, many people will not be having any opportunity to be live to watch what is going on, but I have to put this video up and you can be able to watch when you have time. So let me go ahead and explain in detail what are these bills which have been able to be passed by the House, and what are they talking about, and what are we expecting to happen on these particular bills. So number one, on CNN, they say the House passes a pair of immigration bills amid influx of migrants crossing the U.S.-Mexico border. So there are two important immigration bills. That is the important thing which we are going to talk about. So the House has passed two immigration bills. So what are these bills and who is going to benefit from that? I'm going to say what are these bills, and then who is going to benefit, but most importantly, what are the next steps? Because after passing the House, it has to go to the Senate. But will that be able to pass through the Senate? I was planning to make a separate video for overall the U.S. citizenship immigration, the U.S. Citizenship Act, which is planning to give the citizenship up to 11 million. So this is a smaller part of it, is not the comprehensive part of the whole immigration. So I'm going to start with this one, then I'll go in detail. So this is what he's going to talk about. The House of Representatives, which is mostly Democrats majority, the House Democrats pushed ahead to approve two separate bills on immigration Thursday, which is this Thursday, now it is night here, making the first time Congress has voted on the pathway for citizenship or for undocumented immigrants since the Democrats have won slim majority in both chambers of the Congress, with the President Biden in the House. I mean, in the White House. So this particular bill, which has been passed, let me zoom so that you can be able to see a little bit clear. So in this vote, it is going to be able to provide the citizenship path for young undocumented immigrants known as dreamers, as well as the temporarily protected status, which you call TPS, recipient and deferred enforcement departure beneficiaries. The legislation is going to help up to 4.4 million individuals who are eligible for permanent residence, and then that permanent residence will go to benefit someone to become a U.S. citizen. So this is going to benefit 4.4 million people. So for those who do not know, first of all, I know that some people do not know. When it says going to benefit 4.4, remember it's going to benefit who are called the dreamers. So for the simple way, who qualifies under the dreamer? Or if you can just go and see who are the dreamers. Can dreamers become whatever? Can become US citizen? But under the Dream Act, which is summarize here. I will show to you. He said these are the most students who came to the United States at the age of 15 or younger, at least 5 years before the date of the bills enacted, and who have maintained good moral character since entering the United States, while qualifying for the conditional permanent residency status upon acceptance to college, graduation from high school, and all other kind of things. So there is a lot of information about the DREAM Act, which came during the Obama administration back in 2011. So I can put, for those who want to know more about the DREAM Act, I can put this one. What someone is going to be on the DREAM Act, and then DACA and all other kind of things. So all in all, this one has been able to be passed according to CNN. That one. So the vote was 228 to 197. There were 9 Republicans who voted to support this bill in the House. And so it was, this is a little bit of bipartisan, because 9 Republicans voted to support that one. And these are the Republicans representatives who were able to support that one, who are Republicans, which is something good or something bad, depending on which angle you are to analyze this particular thing. And then this bill again will also be able to permit the farm workers and their spouse and their children to earn legal status through the continued employment in the agricultural sector, and will change to the H2A agricultural guest worker program. So that is not the big part. The big part, if you read this one, they will tell you that this bill is going to, now the next step is to go to the Senate. So both these bills have been passed by the House in previous years, but we are voted on again for this chamber, for the Democrats. But what is the next step? The next step, it has to go to the Senate. This is where I have to bring back my political science understanding and the political science analysis, because I have a degree in political science. I can be able to analyze more about American politics, especially about the politics of the Congress, both the House and the Senate. So this is the first statement you need to read, even from CNN themselves. They say the chances of these bills getting through Republican support to reach 60 votes in the Senate is very, very low. Renewing debate among Democrats about ending the filibuster, that would allow legislation to pass with a lower vote threshold, but appears unlikely to happen. So overall, in order for this bill to go to the Senate and pass, they need 60 votes. So for those who do not know about what is the Senate and how is it, so let me go here and give you a little bit of the background of the Senate. So in the year 2001, the Senate was 50-50 Senate. That means 50 Republican, 50 Democrats. Basically, there are 100 senators. Each state, 50 states, each state have 2 voting senators. It doesn't matter how big is the state. It doesn't matter the population of the state. California, with almost 40 million people, they will have 1 senator. I mean 2 senators. Vermont, they will have 2 senators. So it doesn't matter. That is different from the House. The House of Representatives, the bigger the state, the bigger the population of the state, the bigger the number of the representatives. That's why California has more House of Representatives, more than Vermont, or more than Wyoming. But when it comes to the Senate, all states have equal power. All states have 2 senators. This year, there are 48 Democrats and 2 senators who are independent, but those independent are also Democrats, like Ben Sanders. So technically, there are 50 Democrats and there are 50 Republicans. So when you vote, if the votes go 50-50, Vice President is going to vote to break the tie, to make it 51. Vice President happens to be Kamala Harris, who is Democrats. But on this particular bill, when there is a bill, this type of bill needs 60 votes. Is not 51 votes. Is not a simple majority vote. That's why I said the biggest mistake the Democrats did the first time was when they decided to do the going to the relief bill. When they went to the corona pandemic, when they went to the pandemic, they used what they call the budget reconciliation. So this reconciliation process, you need simple majority vote. So for vote to usually the filibuster, what we are talking about, requires 60 votes, which is called the super majority vote for legislation to be able to pass in the Senate. But if you use what we call the budget reconciliation process, you need to have what we call the simple majority votes, which is 51 votes. So there is a limitation of how many votes they can be able to go through budget reconciliation. So you cannot just everything you go to the reconciliation, everything goes to the reconciliation. So for that particular case, because the Democrats didn't use the budget reconciliation technique to put these bills when they are going to do the relief budget, and I made the video to explain why Nancy Pelosi decided to remove that one, there were some Democrats who were against it. So for that particular case, you needed to have 60 votes. So as I said, at this moment, we have 50 Republican, 50 Democrats, 40 Democrats, and 2 who are independent, who are supporters of Democrats, like Bernie Sanders. That is 50-50. So in order to pass this one, you need to have 10 more Republicans to support this bill. The question to ask yourself, will Democrats be able to convince 10 Republicans to support this bill? That is the first question. I want you to think about it. The second question is, will all 50 Democrats in the Senate be supportive of this bill? Remember, just in the House of Representatives, one House member voted against this one. And already there are some of the senators are not even supportive of the overall Biden's U.S. citizenship, U.S. United States Citizenship Act of 2021. There are some of the senators are against it. That's why they didn't take it to the Senate when it was the time, even during the time they needed just simple majority vote. And I will explain this one in a bit. Okay, let's go back to the political science. And this one I'm going to explain a few things. Number one question is, when Obama had a total control of the Congress, why didn't this immigration pass? Remember, they tried. Why they didn't pass? And the second question, which is you need to ask yourself, is why immigration reform died in Congress for all those previous years, before? Why? Why this immigration died in Congress? Why? And let's go back to the Congress. And I'm talking more about the House, Senate, and sometimes I'll talk also about the White House. So it goes back. Number one, they say immigration reform couldn't pass into law when Republicans controlled the White House and Congress back in 2005 and 2006. In this time, the House of Representatives, Senate, and the White House were under Republican. It couldn't pass when Republican was in the White House, but Democrats controlled both the House and the Senate. Why Democrats didn't pass when they controlled the Senate, the Congress, both chambers in this year? And again, it couldn't pass when Democrats controlled both executive branch and legislative branch. This time, why it didn't pass? This time, Barack Obama was president. Barack Obama's White House was there. Democrats were the majority in the House, but Democrats were majority in the Senate. Why they didn't pass? And again, they say it isn't going to pass with the Democrats in the White House, Democrats in the Senate, and the Republican in charge of the House of Representatives back in this year. Why it didn't pass? At this time, in this 2010, 2009, 2010, going to 2011, this time, that is the time when they brought even DACA. When this they wanted to go with DACA, even to this kind of the plan to change the immigration, 5 Democrats who are senators voted against the bill. Apart from Republican, they voted against the bill. So you need to know that's the first thing. Even Democrats, they don't support this bill. Not all of them. So because you have 50 Democrats who are now in the Senate, you need all of them to vote yes, which it might not happen. Let me go take you back during the relief bill, coronavirus pandemic relief bill of this Biden administration. One of the items which was supposed to be passed was the increase of the minimum wage to $15. It was proposed by Democrats, voted by Democrats in the House. Republican, most of them didn't support. It went to the Senate. 6 Democrats voted against increasing the minimum wage. It didn't go through. Why? There are so many other factors, because if you increase the minimum wage, they came with the reason that it's going to affect the jobs for more than 2 million people. Some of the companies, they will not be able to pay. Some of the smaller states, they will not be able to support. Some of the small businesses are going to collapse. So if that is the reason some of those Democrats, they voted against, why will they give the citizenship to 4.4 million people, then later to support 11 million people to be given citizenship, and then to allow immigrants to be given unlimited H1 visa to come here and take the jobs? So that's why, first of all, some of the Democrats will not support this one. Even 1 or 2, it will affect them. And then you need 10 Republican. So the question is, will you get 10 Republican? The answer will be very, very difficult. It will be difficult to get 10 Republican. This is the time of Obama's administration. On January 20, 2009, Democrats had 57 seats, which were held by the Democrats, and 2 independents. So they had 59 seats. But still, they failed to get just 1 or 2 votes from the Senate to pass immigration. Why? Because 5 senators from Democrats, they said no. So if you had 57 to 59 votes already on hand, you failed to convince your fellow Democrats, who obviously Democrats as a party is the one which supports immigration more than Republican. Republicans support legal immigration. Democrats can support even sometimes people to come illegally and get the process of being legal while you are here. So those are the few important things you need to understand. So let's go to talk about the Republican. And that's why there is a video I will go to talk even to explain why Biden's U.S. Citizenship Act of 2021 will not pass the Congress. It is hard pill to swallow. I'm going to talk this video. I'm going to make a very documented presentation on this one. So, but now let's just talk about this one. Just the House passing this bill will go to the Congress. House has passed. It will go to the Senate. But the Senate will have a difficult time to pass it. Why? First of all, you need to get 60 Republican. Why the 60 Republican will not support this one? So the 60 Republican will not be able to support this one because of the following reason. Number one, this comes to the politics. Come to the politics of Democrats versus Republican. That's number one. Number two, it comes to the issue of voting. 4.4 million individuals, they become citizen. Later you go to pass the US Citizenship Act, 11 million people in total. Majority of people, not all, majority of these people who will be given citizenship will likely vote for Democrats. So for that case, Republican will not allow to do that. Because if you do that, majority of the people will be from Texas, they'll be in Texas. Majority of these people are in California. If this majority of people who are in Texas vote for Democrats, Texas will turn from red to blue. Remember, California used to vote Republican until I think first George Bush time. Bush the father won California as Republican, but with immigrants going more to California, it turned to become blue. There is no way Republican will win California, so they'll not do that mistake of allowing Texas to turn blue. If Texas become blue state, that means vote for Democrats. It means it will be practically impossible for Republican to win presidents. So for that particular reason, they will vote no. That is another one. Then it will come the issue of, let's go to the issue of impeachment. While the Democrats went to won the presidency, they said we wanted to make sure that we are healing. Biden's inauguration speech, we are going to heal. We are going to be one team. And then you went with impeachment, the second impeachment, even without negotiation, trying to let it get out of it was unconstitutional and all other kind of things. That one brought unnecessarily tension between Republican and Democrats. Then, apart from that, another thing came out. Coronavirus, 1.9 trillion. Instead of going with the bipartisan, they use reconciliation. So they use the budget reconciliation. Democrats use the budget reconciliation process. By using the budget reconciliation process, it means Democrats, they bypass this process. They bypass this process and tried to get just 51 votes. Republicans were upset. All 50 Republicans voted against the 1.9 trillion. So if they voted against, so now each bill will come to the Senate. It will be dividing. Republican, all of them, they will say no. And if fewer Republicans will say yes, because if you say yes, there is election next year, mid-election. If you say yes, you are against the Republican, you are going to lose the election. So this time, it will be very difficult to pass through Senate. So why? Not all Democrats support the bill. That's why even when we go back to the Obama administration, the time Obama was in the White House as Democrat, House was under Democrats, Senate was under Democrats, but still the bill didn't go through. Why? Because all Republicans voted no, and 5 Democrats voted no. So that was the reason. So in order for the major legislation to pass through, it doesn't need this one is not going to need is not going to need the budget reconciliation. Is going to need the 60 votes. So Democrats needed to get all 50 votes within Democrats and to get again 10 votes from Republicans, which that will not happen. But if, as I said, just even Democrats voted against $15 minimum job, that is how it is. Even within Democrats, it is going to be a very difficult to go to go through that way. So 6 to 8 Democrats voted against minimum wage. So that it shows they were fearing about the jobs. They were fearing about small business to lose to fail to pay the salary. So are they going to give citizenship bill which will increase job difficulties in their states? That is the challenge. We do not know if we'll be able to do that. So now, even if you go to the major U.S. citizenship bill, which is the majority of the bill, now they both they are in the judiciary committee, they are difficult to go through directly to the Congress. We are not going to waste time. This is what Representative Zoe said, the chair of the House Immigration and Citizenship Committee said, we are not going to wait or to waste time. We'll just start the planning to move this burden bill to the number of the bills through the Judicial Committee, which is now in the floor. They are working on it at the moment. But again, these are the issues which are very, very critical, which I'm saying it will be very, very difficult. So even if you go to read this one, breaking news from CNN, they say here, the House passes a second immigration bill. This aim at the farm workers and their families. And they say it is going to face what? It faces what? A tough road in the Senate. Because in order to pass it through the Senate, you need to get 60 votes. You need to get 10 Republicans to say yes. Will you get 10 Republicans? Obviously, it will be very, very difficult. So even this one, they'll be talking about everything, but in the end, they will tell you how hard it is to go to how hard it is to go through the Senate, where there are almost 50 Republicans who are going to do that way. So this is the challenge we are going to face when you are talking about this part of the bill. Yes, it has passed through the House, but it's not going to pass through the Senate. And the same way it will happen also to the U.S. immigration. But as I said, there are so many other things behind that. There is the big issue. That's why even like you can read the title. Now there is a big issue about the big influx of migrants crossing the U.S.-Mexico border, which now is the big issue. So no one is addressing this one at the moment. So Republicans are still upset with this one. And those are the things happening now. So to be a bearer of the bad news is it will not be able to pass it through the Senate. That is the reality. As I said, voting will be a big thing. I know there are plans of looking possible of using the infrastructure bill to use again the simple majority, but still again it will be very, very difficult to go. So it is a big win for the people who are waiting for the DREAM Act, the migrant. It is also a big win for those people who are waiting for the DACA, but also for the farm workers. It's a big win for them to start with, but it's not over yet because there will be a very big challenge in the Senate. I don't want people to start, okay, now it has been passed, let me go and apply. No. It will be a very big, tough way. You need to convince 10 Republicans. That's number one. But also you need to convince, apart to convincing 10 Republicans, you need to convince also, you need also to convince all Democrats to agree with that one. Enoch, you are saying you are watching from Ghana Airport. Thank you so much. Thank you everyone who has been able to come live here and being with me this time. I know it is very early to some of the countries, but it is also very, very late night here, almost midnight here in the United States, using the Central Time. Okay. Henry, you are saying this is a very great news. Always happy to hear such news. Samuel from Lagos, Nigeria, thank you so much for watching. I know nowadays I have so many people from Nigeria watching. Good people are usual, like music from Nigeria, comedian from Nigeria. Nowadays I like mostly about watch Sydney, Nasty, and his crew. All those people, they are so very, very funny people nowadays. I like to watch them. Yeah, and obviously musicians are doing very, very great music in Africa. Thank you so much. Live from Dubai. So These are the things you need to understand while we are talking about the House has been able to pass this one as one of the good news, but you know that there will be a very tough situation in the Senate to be able to pass is one of the bill. If it goes through, it will be it will need 60 votes, 10 Republicans and all Democrats. You are asking Mzesa, when will this vote in the Senate? They haven't said exactly, but after being passed today, I think very soon it will go to the Senate. You are asking, but big bro, there is a possibility in everything. I agree there is a possibility, but remember, let's go to the reality of why there is. Remember, there is Democrats and Republican. These are the priority of these two parties are different. While one party is supportive of this, another party is against of this. While one other party is supportive of this one, the other party is against of this one. So I agree it's possible, but in Senate it's different from the House. Plus, there is election next year. If you vote no, there is a possibility of losing election next year. Nadine Fossey, we are so grateful for your commitment to always attend us. Thank you so much. I really appreciate. Omari Faisa, EBM Scholars, it is really amazing what you are really doing. Thank you so much. I really appreciate. Mustafa, okay, you are DV Lottery and also from Somalia. Thank you so much. Greetings, Yakin. You are saying greetings, Mr. EBM. Can you add a training certificate you had for 2 years at your workplace during the interview? Thank you. I know you are talking about the work experience for the DV Lottery winners. Yes, take any training you have, any certificate you have, whether it's on job training or you went to school to attend that particular training. That is allowed to take all of those kind of training. Okay, for those people who are watching right now, remember to subscribe to the EBM Scholars right now, and also go to the EBM Scholars podcast. You can be able to also to get me on my podcast where I'm also talking a lot of good things over there. But also for those who speak Swahili, for Swahili videos, those who want Tanzania, Kenya, Democratic Republic of Congo, even some of the South Sudan, please go to subscribe to the EBM Swahili. Go to youtube.com/EBM Swahili, or just type on the search engine EBM Swahili. You'll be able to get my videos in Swahili language. Remember to subscribe to the EBM Scholars now, because we are working on going to 100,000 subscribers by the end of this year. So please be part of this particular journey and support the EBM Scholars. And this is what gives me energy to continue making all these videos. Let me start with there are a few questions coming here. What does this have to do with the DV 2021? Maurice Gono Jr., you are asking that one. This has nothing to do with the DV 2021, because this one doesn't add anything. Is different from the act. This one is different from the Citizenship Act, which is going to increase the number of visas from 55 to 80,000. So this is different from, is working with the dreamers and the farm workers. What is happening about DV high case numbers in Asia? You keep waiting for that, because there are some people with low case numbers have to be attended first, and they'll be going up until all the people are supposed to get the maximum of 55,000 visas are going to reach. Remy Otto, you are saying keep up the great work, sir. You are indeed an awesome person, watching you from Dubai. Thank you so much. In case you haven't subscribed, please do so. Mustafa Official, thank you for the thank you, and the V Lottery and the Somali, and yeah, so thank you so much for giving me support from Somaliland. What Bimji, you are saying, what if they reform the filibuster? Will it help this bill to pass the Senate? Yes, it will help that way. But to even like here they are saying, let me show you. Let me show you one thing. They are saying here, even to make the, in order to do that, where was that when they are talking to end the filibuster is again is a very very complicated process. Yeah, I mean, if you end that one, yes, which they are talking about the difficulty of to end that one, it will be a very complicated process. So this bill, so this they are saying the chances these bills are getting through enough votes, Republican support to reach 60 votes in the Senate is very very low. So this is going to renew the debate, but it doesn't mean that they are going to end the filibuster now. That will pass the legislation with the lower vote threshold, but also it appears unlikely to happen that to end the filibuster. But remember, if you end this one, it will work for you. Remember, next month, I mean next year, there is another election. There are some of the senators who will be in the election. So if Republicans, they are going to have just 51 votes, they will be able to pass everything on their own. That is the problem. If you change the law to work on your advantage, another part when it comes to power, they will be able to do that. Just like when during the Obama administration, there is one justice died. When justice died, who was a Republican, Obama had to nominate. It was last year of his term, had to nominate a new justice. The Republicans were so upset, but they went ahead to nominate the new justice. Then during Trump, then Democratic person passed away, Justice Ruth. Then Democrats were upset when Trump was filling the position. So when you change a certain regulation, it will work for you. But remember, there is election next year in November again. So all those kind of things will be able to work on your advantage now, but another part will come and change. Autumn season, you are saying thank you for your effort. Thank you so much. Yakin say, thank you for the answer, sir. But please, sir, we are still waiting for more videos about new immigrants in the States, how to get used items and cars to buy and to settle. No problem. This weekend, I'm going to make more videos of that, how to start buying the used clothing, used items, to start the life here, use the car, to find the general jobs. I will start making those videos, especially on the weekend. Abdiwali Muhammad Farah. Mr. EBM, always share with us the things that will help us. Thank you so much. Keep going. Thank you so much. Sergio Luamba, hello EBM. Thank you for the good news for dreamers, and thank you too for the great job. Thank you, and I hope dreamers get the opportunity to get this one to go through, and hopefully they'll be able to do that, because most of these, they came very very young and they have been here for a longer time. This is their country. Morris Jr., thanks a lot EBM. I'm from Liberia with the very high case number AF79. Should I send my updated passport to KCC? Because my passport I used it to play the lottery has expired. Number one is, yes, you can do that, but don't just, some people, they advise people you can send the documents even KCC hasn't requested them yet. In my opinion, even if you send, there is no problem. But if you send it, it doesn't help you at all, because they will not process until your case number arrives. So whether you send the information, unless as they have asked for the documents, yes, send the documents. If they haven't asked, don't send. But if you want to send, yes, send the old passport, expired one, and the new passport. What about the increase, Geoffrey Nyamongo? You say, what about the increase of the V lottery from 55,000 to 80,000? That is part of the overall, the big immigration part of U.S. Citizenship Act of 2021, which it is now is in what we call the Judiciary Committee. It has to go through the Judiciary Committee before it goes to the House and to go to the Senate. So that one is still there. So it hasn't gone through yet. So let me end up this video right now. I know. Let me end up right now because I've been able to answer the video. I've been able to answer all the questions people have been having about this particular particular discussion about the good news for the people. Thank you so much. Remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel in case you haven't done so. I appreciate each and everyone for your continued support of my YouTube channel. As I said over and over, I don't know what you are waiting for. Remember to subscribe right now to my YouTube channel and be part of the EBM Scholars, as we are going to have a landmark of 100,000 subscribers by the end of the year. Let's be together on this particular opportunity and be together supporting. Subscribe, share the video to any person you know. Go to my podcast, EBM Scholars Podcast. You can be able to get me there too. So thank you once again. I really appreciate each and everyone for your continued support of the EBM Scholars, and goodbye.